Good afternoon, ZCC family. It's your boy ZaddyChunkChunk. As you guys can see, today is a different kind of video. I have no food in front of me on the table. It's because my DMs were recently flooded. Everybody is wanting to know my opinion about my little brother, Darius Gaskin's last video. To be completely transparent, I have not watched it yet. And the reason for that is because I decided to do a live reaction with you guys. So Darius dropped this video 2 days ago and it's called My Coming Out Story. And right now it has 130,000 views, over 130,000 views. And the caption says, "You would not believe how long it took me to edit just this part. Please stay tuned for part 2 because I know the girls are going to be gagged." So I'm really interested, really excited. I have me some whiskey today. I'm really sipping a little whiskey while I enjoy this video. And I decided to get a little snatched up, a little snazzy dashy because it's a special video. It's a big moment for Darius. So without further ado, I don't want to waste your guys' time at all. Let's hop straight into it. Like I said, I have not watched 1 second of this video. You guys ready? You got your popcorn? You got your drink? Y'all with me? Let's hop into it.
It should cost $1 billion to look that. It should cost $1 billion to look that. It should cost $1 billion to look that.
Is it rolling?
First thing I want to say is I see the edit production. You know, he had the iconic doing the dance. Well, I wouldn't say it's a dance, but you know, the blur, the zoom in. I like that. Okay, looks like we got a banger on our hands. I see you. Let's keep it going.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Darius, and this video is for the girls. So, I am extremely tired right now because I am currently still trying to pack up the car, and I'm in this hot jacket with this bodysuit on, and there's holes in it, so don't say anything to me about this. If you want to know what all happened with this or whatever, I will be having a behind the scenes video coming out about all of this whole experience of moving and the several videos you're about to see coming out very soon. This is a series that has been long in the works. I have thought about and dreamt about this video for a very long time, and originally this was going to be scripted, and it should have been because I actually just filmed 25 minutes of this video and halfway through decided that I did not like it, and I wanted to restart. So everybody, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. I don't know if you guys knew, but I am gay.
So right out the woodworks, and down, this is at 125, just so you know when to edit. Right out the woodworks, he comes out and says, "I am gay." He just dropped the bomb. Didn't waste no time, got straight to the point. Okay, and obviously it was in the title, so it was straight to the point from the get-go, but dropped the bomb. I am gay. Okay, so, and I'm gonna speak more about that towards the end, my thoughts and opinions. The stuff that I saw right now is a pure reaction, but 25 minutes, recorded 25 minutes and then had to restart it. So this is, and he dreamt of this video for a long time. He been wanting to come up with this story, and he finally did it, 2024. I guess it's about to be a crazy year. I can't wait to see his content, but let's go.
Didn't think that you guys didn't know that. So, I mean, let me address a few things. Obviously in my last video with my mom, my mom knows that I'm gay, okay? That was all like dramatized for the video. It looked more I mean, you guys didn't believe it, but it definitely looked natural because we had already talked about what she was gonna do at the end of the video before we started filming. But so she's obviously already knew. The reason why she said that was because we've been for years, obviously I've been gay for my entire life, and not even like DL gay. And if you don't know what that means, if you're not with the girls, DL means down low. Like I'm not even like, you know, whatever. I guess DL is whatever. The point is that I'm not DL. Okay, look at this jacket that I have on. Look at this earring. My fingers are currently covered. My fingers are covered for a fashion statement. So it's never gave DL. It never has given DL. I never cared to or not to be DL or whatever. I just never talked about it. It was my personal decision not to talk about it. I never have not been comfortable with myself. I'm trying to knock down all the things that you possibly could be thinking of why I'm now 23 years old and just now talking about this. I wasn't not comfortable about it, with it. I don't know, like you guys have always obviously seen that I've been comfortable in my own skin doing what I want to do. It's just not something that I have ever discussed at all.
305 Dalvin. So he's pretty much saying, obviously he was saying he's not a DL gay. He's not, he's been gay his whole life. My reaction to that part is the fact that he never felt the need to speak it and tell people about it. So, and I 100% understand, like I 100% agree with what he's saying, because it's crazy how people get so caught up about someone else's sexuality. Like just let them live. If they're gay, let them be gay. If they're straight, let them be straight. You know, let people do. I really am not. I don't care what another person's sexuality preference is. If you cool, I'm cool. We cool. You know what I mean? Like who you like is who you like, and who I like is who I like. So yeah, I never really got the need for people to know, oh, what are you, the other side of that? I mean, it's just let him live. It's not your life, it's his life. You know what I mean? So I understand why he decided to not publicly go ahead and speak on that. But let's continue.
In videos, and I feel like now is the time. I want to be authentic, and there's going to be a caveat to this later on in the video, but I want to be more authentic and more myself than I have ever been on camera. And this is not like a weight lifted off my shoulders necessarily, but it will be in the sense that I can like say and do more things on camera and video, and like maybe share more opinions that I have, and you know, just talk, you know, about things in a more authentic way. That's all I'm gonna say. So yes, my mom knows. Yes, my dad knows. Yes, Dalvin knows. Everybody in my family knows. I want this video to be authentic, kind of.
So I'm not gonna keep pausing crazy throughout the video. Well, I'm sure all you guys watch this video, so you're more wanting to hear the opinion. So we're at 349 Dalvin. So he said, yes, my mom knows. Yes, my dad knows. Yes, Dalvin knows. So yes, he been told us this is something that I've been knowing for years. It wasn't like an unspoken thing. Like he actually came to us and told us, hey, well, I know I wasn't living in, I believe this happened in Wisconsin. It did not, but I know it happened in Wisconsin. I wasn't living in Wisconsin when this happened, or I could have just been an hour and a half away, who knows? But he told my parents, and then he told me about that story, and then he told me too, next time I visited, and he was like, hey, I just want to let you know that, and I think it was very like, it wasn't like a sit down, probably with my parents, it was like a sit down meeting. With me, it was just more like, hey, Dalvin, just to let you know, I'm gay. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's up. You know what I mean? And then it was just like, and I was like, oh, so you told mom and dad, and then we had a conversation about how his experience was coming out to my parents, and then how it was like his whole life and stuff of that sort. But it wasn't like a dramatic thing. So yes, I have been knowing this, but it's just crazy. Now he's dropping it to the world, because that's something, like I said, he never really did. He didn't feel the need to tell the world, like, hey, by the way, this is me. Like, I just don't, and I agree with him. I just don't feel like that's something you need to tell. It is what it is. It's his life. You ready?
Just like a back and forth. I don't want to share too much information, which is what I feel like I was doing before. So I'm gonna dial it back and reel it back into the main points. There are gonna be two parts to this video, okay? The first part of this video is gonna be me talking about how I realized I was gay, you know, whether or not my parents knew, and when they found out, when I told them, etc., etc., etc. And then the second part of this video is going to be facts and information about why people are gay. I think this is going to be one of, if not first of all, my most interesting video to date, I would say. And it's going to also be my, one of the most interesting videos I probably ever do in my YouTube career, okay? The reason why I'm dividing this video into two portions is because I feel as though, just as I talked about Palestine on my last video, that talking about things that I think that are important on a video that I know is going to have a lot of views is what I need to do. So in the second part of this video, you will be hearing and seeing factual scientific information about why people are gay. And what we know in 2024 about genetics and what happens in the womb and sexuality and gender and things of all sorts of nature, because I think that the majority of the audience that is watching this video does not know this stuff, and I think that it is imperative to understand this. You guys might be for the girls. I know a lot of you guys were, and I really do appreciate that. I do want to say that as well. I do really appreciate all the comments that you guys have left on my last video. Just supporting me. I really had rarely anybody who was being negative or mean or anything like that. So I really do appreciate you guys. Obviously, I'm an open book. I have been, you know, gay, which I am. That is what I am. I'm not bi, I'm not trans, I'm not anything else. I am gay. And you guys have known that for my whole YouTube career as I've been on here. Not me saying career, but my whole YouTube career, you guys have known. And so I appreciate you guys still sticking with me and being here, obviously, regardless of what my sexuality is. I know a lot of you guys said you don't care, etc., etc., etc. But I really want to get this, not necessarily off my chest, like it's been a weight on my shoulders, but I really want to be able to be more authentic and more free in the future. And this is kind of that preliminary step, just talking about and laying out everything that I want to lay out. And so you will hear a lot about, and it's going to be very, very imperative that you watch the second portion of this video, because I think it's extremely interesting and good information to know. And it took me a while to figure out these things too and do my own research about it. But this first part is going to just be about when I figured it out, etc., etc., and the things that have happened in my lifetime to date, and my experience being gay. And in the future, you will find out so much more about the Black and gay experience, because I think intersectionality is an extremely important concept. I don't know if everyone understands what that is. I have talked about it a couple times on my channel. The concept of intersectionality is when you are a part of two minority groups, and it is the specific experience that you have when those two groups intersect. So I am gay, but I am also Black, and that experience looks very different than a white gay person or a Black straight person, etc., etc., etc. And so, or you can have multiple intersectionalities, right? I'm not gonna give you read the encyclopedia to you right now. That'll come later on in the video. I promise to make it as interesting as possible. But basically, the reason how I know or knew from for a very long time that I was gay is that starting from the...
Before we get into the reason why he knows, I love that he's coming with like facts behind this, and then also trying to break things down and explaining why people can be gay. And I'm very interested in learning why he believes, I mean, not why he believes, but the science behind what makes someone gay. I would love to know that science. And then also, like I said, I just like how he's breaking it down, and it's not just a coming out story. This is actually a learning experience. So this is very interesting. Kudos to Darius for that. That was 3353, Dalvin.
Beginning, kindergarten. So in kindergarten,
I've been saying the time's wrong. It was 7:45, so I've been saying the end time, 7:45, Dalvin.
I met this boy, and and it's really funny because I know he's not watching, but I still feel so weird and like talking about any of this. But I saw this boy in my elementary school class or whatever, and now knowing a lot more than I did then, I immediately was attracted to him. And you guys, I want you to really think about this. I'm in elementary school, okay? I haven't gone through puberty yet. It's not like I'm sexually attracted to him. I'm not trying to go and do anything with him at all, but I wanted to be around him. Like, I wanted to be his friend. I I just think really innocent Darius, like not, I'm not thinking about anything vulgar at all, because I don't even know vulgar things exist. I'm probably like, I don't even know what age I am, 5 or 6 or whatever years old. So I'm hanging out with him.
Hyundai Tucson versus Mazda CX-5. Look what Tucson has.
We got an ad playing right now. One moment here. Down we're at 8:43.
Constantly, like, I really wanted to be his friend. I just liked being around him, let's say. And then one day, this was before middle school. So we're a little bit older now at this point. I'm with him, I'm talking to him or whatever. Still his friend. I was friends with other people too. It's not like I always hung around him, but I liked being around him rather. We were on the bus and I told him, I was like, I like you. And he was like, okay, I like you too. And he thought that I meant platonically. And I, at the time, assumed that I meant it like that too. And then so I'm sitting there thinking, I'm like, okay, well, he's saying he likes me too, but I don't think it's the same. I was like, I like you, but I think I like you in the way that girls are supposed to like guys. I think it's like that. And he was like, okay. And I could tell he thought that that was very... Let me take a sip of mine. Anyways, I can tell he thought that that was very weird. But like, again, we're children and we're not like thinking anything like, he definitely thought it was weird. I'm not gonna say he didn't, but like, we don't know much about any of that. And I'm saying we, cause I didn't know nothing at all. I was like, I just like blurted it out. Like, I think I like you in the way that girls are supposed to like guys. And so then he was like, okay, well, no, don't do any of that actually. And I said, oh, okay. And then, he proceeded to be like vile actually. For a short period of time, he was very, very mean to me. And I didn't think anything of it. It's not like I was so hurt, but I was just like, this is weird that he's doing that now. But again, I also didn't know how to defend myself. I didn't know like what being gay was. I didn't know anything at the time at all. So I was just like, okay, well, I guess I lost a friend. And so, after that, I saw a video online talking about how you shouldn't use the word gay as an insult. And after watching that video, I was like, what does gay mean? And so then I saw all of these people talking about how they were gay. And they were my age too, which I think is so interesting because they were like, they had so much more intellectual understanding about things in life in general than I had at the time. And they were 13, 14, maybe 15 years old. I was probably, again, I was 12 when I was watching this video and all of these other videos subsequently. And they were talking about how they were gay and how their parents, they don't know how their parents are gonna react to it, or some of them are already out and talking about how their parents did react to it. And a lot of those videos, I try to go back and look for some of them. A lot of them are taken down now, which I think is so interesting how like they just like took down those videos after being so vulnerable at 13 years old, which is so commendable to be that young and to understand your sexuality. But I'm watching these videos and I'm thinking, okay, well, I feel like what they're describing is me too. I didn't think anything of it. They were talking about how and all of them were guys. I didn't see probably any videos of girls who were lesbian talking about it. But they were all guys and they were saying, yeah, so I'm gay and I like boys and this and that. And I was thinking in my head, like, I feel like I like boys too. Like I have to. Like I don't think that I don't wanna. At this point, I'm a little bit older than when I was originally, like, you know, when I was 5 or 6 or whatever. Sorry, I'm so flustered. I have so much to say and I don't know how to get it out. But I knew that I was something other than straight. Again, not knowing what gay was or anything the LGBTQ community was. And so I was like, okay, well, let me just like watch some more of these videos and figure out what they're talking about, like, or whatever.
12:46. So I just want to mention this. It's kind of crazy, like that how people, we just like how I used YouTube too during that time was just to learn something. So YouTube, low key, YouTube is iconic. You know, this is where you went to learn something, and now I know this is where you can create content and stuff of that sort. But the fact that those people were making videos that young too, and back in the day, and like expressing themselves during that time, it is mind blowing. How, like how Darius said, the fact that they knew and was able to intellect that on video too, and know as much as they did. That really is crazy.
And then I was like, yeah, so I like guys in the same way that they're talking about this. It's so weird because I naturally, like literally naturally stumbled upon this video. I already had these, so, because don't try it. I already had these feelings, obviously, like I told you, since I was 5 or 6 years old. And I never really liked girls ever. I thought that they were pretty. I thought that women could be beautiful, or girls could be beautiful. And that's the extent. That's literally all that it was. I think it was in the same way as a girl thinks, or a woman thinks now, who's a straight woman, who thinks, you know, a woman can be pretty, or like, oh, she's pretty or whatever. I thought that, and for a period of time, I thought that that's what being straight was. I thought that that's what I was supposed to be thinking. It's like, okay, this girl's pretty, and I'm gonna marry a girl one day. And that's all that was going through my mind. And I was like, I actually don't like girls at all, because I was thinking like, I just don't like girls in the way that I like boys. Like, it's just a different experience to me. Again, I don't think at that time I had even gone through puberty yet, but I definitely was like, I don't know, I don't really like, you know, or want to be around girls in the same way that I like guys. And so essentially, that's when I knew. Zillennials, which is what I like to call myself, the people who are like really old, really old Gen Z right now, kind of pioneered the social media age of kind of what it is now, right? I was just like interested in like what being gay was, because I was like, this is so weird, because I obviously do like boys. I have always liked boys, and now I'm seeing that there's other people that exist that do as well, right? And that's why I think it's so imperative for children to understand that there is more than just being straight. Because, you know, I don't even know where I would be at. Not necessarily right now. I know I would know, of course I would know all the way at this point and in my age that I'm gay. But like, I don't know when I would have figured it out, right? If I didn't have the representation of other people who were also going through similar things as me, especially being in school when you know that people are cruel and mean. And I've always been feminine my whole life. My parents have known, that's another thing I didn't mention, I don't think, in this take number 4, is that my parents knew since I was probably 3 or 4 years old. Like, I've always been feminine. I've always been, at one point in time I had longer hair. Like before I had shorter hair when YouTube started, but I had longer hair before. My mom would braid it and stuff. And I would always be like, you know, I would always do that. That whole hair behind my ear thing was done many years before. I remember a specific time when I was, what was I singing? It was a song by Fantasia in the living room, and it was something about a boy or whatever, and I was singing it, and my dad walked in, I know he was just like, what is going I know he was like, what is going on? But I just didn't think anything of it. I was watching, you know, listening to Fantasia, and I was singing, and the point is that when you're that young, and when you're like just, you know, living, you know, flouncy and free, you don't have societal's like restrictions of what you should be or shouldn't be or whatever. And so I really didn't think anything of like what I was doing or how I was or whatever. And I always was, and I always have been gay my entire life. And I think that's so interesting. And so as of now, like in the past 4 or 5 years, I've really done my research on more things about why people are gay and what happens inside the womb, because it's very fascinating. Yes, so the way that my parents found out is that they brought me into their room one day. Now, let me set the scene for you guys. Now I have to set the scene all the time.
All right, so this is the event, I believe, the coming out story. Darius told me about this, but this was years ago, so I don't remember the exact way how it went down. I just remember bits and pieces that he told me, and I remember specifically, I believe he was telling me in the basement of our house, but I don't remember, well, I remember specifically, but I remember having a conversation about that in the basement. But let's go ahead and keep this going. That one, this is 1707. This is getting interesting. And it's funny how he's saying that our dad, he was singing Fantasia, our dad walked in like, what is going on? I know I moved out, so this could have been after I moved out, because I left the house when I was 17, so I'm really interested in him painted this picture right now. I'm getting a call from Snoop. Okay, so, all right.
Was in a play. I don't know if it was a musical or a play, but it was, I was still in middle school. I want to say I was in 7th or 8th grade at this time. So I hadn't been out to myself for very long. It had been probably 2 or 3 years or something like that. Very long in the grand scheme of my life, rather. And I think I had only been out to my best friend. Obviously, my parents knew when I was younger, right? But never really asked me personally. And then my friends at school probably already knew too. I wasn't out, I was just Darius, right? But they probably thought in their head, okay, Darius is gay. And so I'm at the high school, okay? The reason I'm at the high school is because we would do our plays and our musicals in the high school, like auditorium or whatever, right? So it's Tech Week, and if you're not a drama person, Tech Week is like the week right before you open the show, and you're actually in your wardrobe. You actually go to the actual stage. You're not like in a room anymore just rehearsing. You're actually on the stage, figuring out lighting and things like that. And so my dad picks me up. He's being a little like I don't know how to explain it. Like, not very responsive. He wasn't like responding to the things that I was saying in a way that he normally did. It was more of like very straightforward answers or whatever. I was like kind of like happy, or I don't know if I was like super bubbly like when I got in the car, but I just remember being like a normal, like it was like a normal day. And for him, it felt like everything was like, you know, he was in his head. He was in his mind, like thinking. And now I know that that's my dad's way of like, I don't know, that's just his way of like thinking about things, or processing things rather, right? So I get in the car, he's in his head, and I could tell, and I'm like, this is so weird, like maybe he's going through something, whatever. Now mind you, my high school was like a 2 or 3 minute drive to my house. It was very, very quick, maybe even less than that actually. We literally lived like right across the street. So he drove me, we get home or whatever. I get into their bedroom. Again, like not thinking anything of it. I was about to tell them about my day and my time being in Tech Week. And my mom is also acting a weird way too. And a lot of you guys talked about and commented in the last video talking about how you wanted me to speak about the concept of being gay and in a Christian household. And so
2001. So that is I actually, because you know how you're saying different experience about being gay as a black man, being straight as a black man. Darius is gay as a black man growing up in a Christian home. So very interesting dynamic. But this story is good. You know what I mean? I haven't heard this in a while. Like I said, like I said, I remember bits and pieces, but this is a good story. I'm really tuned in. Great video so far, Darius. And so that means mom and dad just had been like, I don't know, they're just like, we need to approach this and we need to talk about this. My dad was quiet. My dad is a quiet guy. Well, I want to say he's a quiet guy. He's definitely, he's a man that, he speaks his mind 100%, everything is that sort, but he's, I believe he's just, he speaks before he thinks before he talks, you know, and like how Darius said, he's just processing everything, and my dad's a very smart man. So I just want to know, like, I would love to know, actually, I believe my mom and dad should come out with a story like this. Or if they did, actually, they probably could have done, because I know they talked about they did a video reacting to Darius, and I should watch that, but just what led them up to have the sit-down conversation, and then like when they decide to come to this, like, hey, we need to talk to Darius and ask him what's going on. You know what I mean? So that would be a very interesting story. If they did, I apologize. I still got to watch that video, but this is good. This is good so far.
I basically was sitting there on the edge of their bed, and my dad starts going on this spiel about something about the Bible. I don't know. Something about the Bible. I don't remember what it was, but I was just sitting there going, okay, yeah, okay, what about it? And he was being so weird. It was so weird. Like, you have to understand, this was not my dynamic with my parents at all. Like, it was a complete 180. They're being like cold and like to themselves, and I knew something was off. So my dad starts talking about the Bible, and again, I grew up in church my whole life. And so I'm like, okay, like, what are you getting at, Dad? Like, what are you saying? He was talking about, I don't even remember what he was saying at this point, but, and so he's talking about it or whatever, and then all of a sudden he asks me, he goes, are you gay? Now, at this point, again, as you guys know I'm gay, right? And so my plan originally was that I was going to one day tell them. I had no idea when. I probably would have pushed it off as long as I possibly could have. But my plan was going to be to like write a letter to them. And I used to go to Rockford, Illinois in the summer times with my grandma. So I was gonna like sneak inside and say, oh, I forgot something or whatever when they were in the car, and then go drop off this letter on their bed. And then they would like read it and find out once I was in Rockford, Illinois, so that I wouldn't at least be there when it happened so they could like read it. I don't know, I was like so scared to tell him. And so he asked me, he's like, are you gay? And I go, no, right? And again, I know for a fact that I am at that point. I'm like, no. And he just keeps on asking me, probably because they knew for a fact that I was, right? Which, if you have a son or a daughter who has gender characteristics that are not necessarily the norm, it doesn't mean that they're gay or lesbian or anybody in the LGBTQ community. It could just mean that they're a tomboy as a girl. I mean, as a girl, or they just don't want to, like, I don't know, wear this or that or whatever, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that it dictates their sexuality. But at the time, he said,
so 2211. So, and I definitely agree with Darius, just because, you know, certain traits that how people act does not mean they're gay. And I actually believe that's interesting, because just me and Darius, we grew up in the suburbs, you know, and we went to primarily white schools, you know. So, for example, like just even being called Oreo, the way we talk. So, first of all, the way we talk. People say, oh, you must be gay because you talk this way. You know what I mean? Or not even just with the gay talk, it must be like, oh, you talk white. Like, first of all, there's no such thing as talking white. And then also a lot of people with us talking like this, they associate that with gay. You know what I mean? Because I really I can't explain why people would associate that with gay, but they associate the way you talk, the way you, if you're brung up in a certain area, if you talk proper or prep, well, I put proper, like it's a quotation, proper is normal, but if you talk preppy or if you talk white, big quotations on that one, they associate that with that being gay. So yeah, I believe that just because somebody acts a certain way, and I'm agreeing with Darius on that point. 2211 down, let's go.
Okay, are you gay? I'm like, no. Are you gay? And I was like, okay, why aren't they believing me now? This is weird. I'm like, no, why are you asking me that? And then I think he asked me one more time. And I don't remember if it was like right after it. But he asked me one more time, and
Wait, I'm sorry I'm pausing it right away. 2231, Dalvin. That's crazy, because you feel like, all right, it's like you about to get a whooping almost. It's like, let's say, but Dalvin, did you steal this? No. Dalvin, did you steal this? No. I'm gonna ask you one last time. Dalvin, did you steal this? Oh, he's on to me. So I know that was like very nerve-wracking. Had been very nerve-wracking for Darius. That's crazy. So this is a great story, Darius. Great story. This is, I'm really tuned in. All right, 2231, let's go.
Run to the kitchen. Because I'm about to start crying, and I'm like, oh my goodness, if I start crying, this is gonna be a lot. Like, if I start crying, they're gonna know. And so they can definitely tell that I'm starting to cry when I'm saying no. And so I run to the kitchen, and I'm just like crying, like really bawling, crying. And my dad comes after me, like running into the kitchen as well, and he like hugs me from behind. And so I'm crying or whatever, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a lot. I'm thinking in my head like, oh, they did a lot. And I still to this day think that they ripped me out the closet. But anyway, so I'm crying or whatever, and then my mom, we ended up going back into the kitchen, and I'm just thinking my mom is like just like, I don't know. She's different than my dad in the way that she copes with things. But I could also tell something was off with her too. And I think that after like I admitted that I was gay, it was just like, they didn't know what to do. It was almost like their world like was like, my son, of all people, my son is gay. And again, being gay and growing up in a Christian household, it was very, you know, we had to figure out that dynamic. And so
let me pause it right here too. So 2356 Dalvin, it's just, I don't know, I may be so tuned into this story and like so interested in this story so good because this is my parents, you know, this is my brother, and I know the dynamic and I know how my family acts and I know everything, you know, about them obviously. So I could imagine how my mom was acting. And my mom is a lot like me. I believe my mom is definitely my type of personality and Darius is dad's personality. But the crazy part is I feel like my mom and Darius are the closest, and then me and my dad are closer. And it's nothing like favorites or anything. I believe 100% wholeheartedly. My parents love us both equally and everything of that sort. But it's just like my mom and Darius are closer, and then me and my dad are closer. But yet, me and my mom are the most alike, and then me and then my dad and no, Darius and my mom are most alike, and my dad and myself are most alike. But so Darius ran into the kitchen after that third one and started crying, and then my dad ran after him. I ain't gonna lie, that was like when he said that, I was like, I got a little emotional right there. It's like, man, this is not dramatic, like saying it's very drama filled, but not like oh, you're being dramatic kind of ordeal. So that was deep. And my dad ran after him, gave him a hug. This is crazy. This is a good story. 2356.
So basically, my parents were like, okay, not really okay. It really was like a tough time for the Gaskin family at the time. My brother's not in the house, by the way, at this point. I don't think he was. Yeah, my brother wasn't in the house at all at this point. So like he wasn't even in the picture at all in terms of this whole conversation happening. Otherwise, he would have been like hearing about it or whatever, right? And so I think for for a little while after that, it was very, very weird in my family. My dad and my mom claims a different story. I don't know, whatever. I don't know if I'm having false memories because I was 12 and 13 or 14 or whatever I was. But I specifically remember my dad like going through or like praying. He would pray. He would go to the basement and he would pray in the dark. And I thought that was so weird. I was like, what is my dad doing? Like for 6 weeks, I think he was on a hiatus completely. And he
25 minutes. That's like one part I do remember specifically Darius telling me. I remember like going to the room. Now that he's saying this is refreshing my memory, but before I wasn't remembering going to the room. And I ain't gonna lie, this part I'm gonna pause a lot because this is actually, like I said, this is the meat and potatoes. So I do remember Darius said that my dad was praying a lot in the basement, and he'd be praying in the dark. But also I know my dad was heavy into praise and worship too, though, and he would have prayer sessions. But I do believe 100% that he probably was going extra hard during that time, like because this news came out. And being a parent that grew up in a household, and obviously I'm not a parent and stuff like that, so but I believe my dad should make a dedicated video. And once again, I did not watch my mom and dad's video about our reaction, but my dad should make a deep dive video, because even if he did they made that video, I think he should do a deep dive video about being a Christian father and then your son first coming out as this way. You know what I mean? Or you figuring out that he's gay, and being my dad was high up. He was an elder, I believe, in the church, and then just realizing that and how deep it was, and like how he felt about it, and then, you know, obviously that's technically, if we want to get technical, his first son. This is deep. This is deep. Like, this is bringing me back to the mirror. It's just, and this is like, to everybody else, I promise you, like, to me, it's more deeper because I'm thinking about like this is my family, you know what I mean? And I just know how my family is, and I know how they react to things. So this is definitely deep. Let's get this started.
Was just down there all the time, praying and praying in the dark, in pitch black, dark, praying. I'm just like, this is so weird and crazy. So I during that time, I was like communicating and talking to my mom mostly, right? My dad, I really didn't speak to him very much about. I told you I was in pajamas, don't say nothing to me.
Wait, 25, 22, dude. You have the top half. You can't show the bottom. I ain't gonna lie though. Me and Darius, we the same. Well, this is not just me and Darius. This is anybody who does content creations. Business up top, party at the bottom. And some shorts. But that's hilarious. I'm like, Darius, no, don't show it. All right, let's get back to it. That was 25, 22.
I tell you I was in pajamas in this take. I don't know if I did. Guys, I'm in pajamas. Anyways, and so it was a really tough time for our family at the time. And my dad what I think he was doing was praying. Again, my mom claims that he wasn't doing any of that and that he actually was praying, but it wasn't about me being gay, and he was fasting and going through something or whatever. And I just don't remember that. But I specifically remember him doing
The all-electric Genesis GV.
That one we gotta add right now.
that constantly.
25:49, we're back.
Doing that constantly. Again, my parents needed time to cope with the fact that their son was gay. They needed that time, especially being Christian people. It was difficult for them to be able to cope with that, right? And so, yeah, I basically got older, and I started to, and I haven't really ever said this, I've just thought this in my mind, I started to try to be more open about the fact that I was gay. In the beginning, for the first couple years rather, even in like high school, like I was openly gay with my friends and things like that, like my close friends. And again, everyone already knew that I was gay. But with my parents, I felt that I wouldn't like talk about the fact that I was gay. And it wasn't until maybe high school, I would say maybe junior year of high school, I started being like, listen, I'm gay. And it is what it is. And so like, the only way that we're gonna be able to move forward is if I start making my parents uncomfortable. And everyone's probably like, what's going on? I decided, and they were never uncomfortable, but I decided that I was going to be uncomfortable because I wanted, and what I mean by that is I wanted to be openly gay, right? Obviously, they knew I was gay. We just never talked. It was something we just never talked about, right? And then I started being like, I'm just going to like talk about whether or not, or talk about me being gay. And I don't really know how that looked in the beginning necessarily, but like, I would, for example, I felt like it was like almost taboo to say Darius is gay, or talk about gay things or gay themes or gay people or whatever in my house. And my mom probably will have something contrary to say, which is why I want to make a video with her and my dad specifically to see what their opinions are on this. But
in this clip, I feel like I make it seem as though my parents were the only ones who were uncomfortable in the situation, and they were hindering me from being who I was. But I think it took us a long time to get to where we are now from all sides. I was also uncomfortable being my full self, and it took me a little bit of time to become comfortable and have my parents reach that same destination as well.
I made a specific...
So pause in at 28:32. We just heard Darius do a cut right there. So I promise you, on everything I love, I was thinking about that. I'm like, because you're saying that he was saying that he wanted to go ahead and make it like uncomfortable just so we can get over this hump. But I know that had been very uncomfortable for Darius as well. Just my parents and the dynamic in the household. Like I said, we're a heavy church family. Sundays, Wednesdays, and even going on there on some odd days too to help out with setting something up and stuff of that sort. My family was very, very deep in the church. And so I know it had been very awkward to to even make things uncomfortable for him as well, you know? So,
pact in my head that I was going to talk about me being gay to make my parents more comfortable with the fact, even though at the time it might have been more uncomfortable, right? And so that turned into the way, like, more recent years where I have been more openly gay. Again, I have been gay this whole time. I don't want it to seem like I haven't been able to be comfortable around my parents or whatever the case may be, because obviously I'm talking about even when I was on camera. This was a couple years ago. I would just never talk about me being gay, but obviously my parents knew I was gay. I was gay. I just never talked about it on camera. And so in more recent years, I have just been like, okay, well, I'm going to see Beyonce, and I bought these heels. Now, I'm not explaining the portion of what the things that I had to go through personally what I had to go through personally to get to that point, but it was a lot. To like get rid of my toxic masculinity and all these things, because there was definitely periods of my life where I was like obviously feminine my whole entire life, but always thought in my mind I probably would never get my not that I was being had animosity towards people who did do this, but I just thought I would never do it myself. I thought at the time I would never get my nails painted. I would never wear any sort of thing that you could consider a heel at all. I would never wear makeup. I would never do anything like that. To this day, I feel that personally I won't ever wear makeup, but that's just my personal choice to not do. But it has nothing to do, I would wear makeup and I would go out in makeup or whatever. I just don't want to do that, right? But what the point is that it took me a long time to unlearn a lot of the things that I had learned just through society about what a man is supposed to be. And so that's when we started talking about like me wearing, when I got to college, it was over, because I was like, you know what, there's only one me, and I have to be me, otherwise, because no one else is gonna do it. So when I
Get more into
we gotta add playing, Dalvin. We gotta add playing.
24, shop Jerry Steiner Mazda on Centennial.
I said, Dalvin, you guys are listening to this too, so we gotta add playing.
got home from college and I had understood myself the way that I do now, I started wearing what I wanted to wear and doing what I wanted to do. And y'all used to remember I used to wear Hollister. There's nothing wrong with Hollister. Nothing wrong. But I'm saying that's all that the extent of my wardrobe was just, you know, very just, I say it in the sense of masculine, like whatever. I just wore whatever was in the men's section at Hollister. And those were my favorite clothes. Or I would wear hoodies or whatever like that. It was nothing like more than that. And I still wear those things now, right? But I also have a few pieces in my wardrobe. I have a few pieces! They are ripped. A few of those pieces are ripped. Yeah, I expanded my wardrobe. When I went to Beyonce, and I know you guys are always talking about some, oh my gosh, him and Beyonce. I've always loved Beyonce before even this album, but the Renaissance was so wildly important to me because Renaissance was so important to me because it was and is a black and gay album. And that was just so freeing to me, like listening to that, and I just thought it was iconic. But the point is that made me feel more comfortable in my skin. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to this tour and I'm going to wear what I want to wear. I'm going to dress how I want to dress. I'm going to be authentically me. I literally had box braids. Like, I just could not picture like me, you know, 5-6 years ago ever getting box braids or anything like that, right? And so the reason why everyone's always like talking about, oh, he's always been so feminine, I obviously have. You've always been able to tell that I'm gay, but I've always been like gradually more and more becoming more comfortable in my own skin and being more feminine. And so I think I want to end this here because there will be more coming with my mom and my dad about the things that have specifically to do with them, because I think that those are very good conversations that need to be had. But I wanted to talk about, you know, my experience on YouTube and how I found out my younger years, middle school, high school, and then subsequently college, and how I have changed and grown since then.
Yeah, check out this chef, right? Right? That's so gay. That's really gay. Dude, look at those pants.
Please don't say that.
What?
Don't say that something is gay when you mean that something is dumb or stupid. It's insulting. It's like if I thought this pepper shaker was stupid and I said, man, this pepper shaker is so 16-year-old boy with a cheesy mustache. Just saying. When you say that's so gay, do you realize what you say? Knock it off.
All right, I guess that was the end of the video. I love the outro because, you know, that's a good outro. You know, so many people say no homo after something, or somebody say that's gay, and or things of that sort, and they don't mean. I know a lot of people. Some people don't mean it as like a derogatory. It is being used as a derogatory term, but some people it's just so automatic. So this is interesting how he left it off with that video, and I see that this video did not go into the science of it yet. So I'm assuming that's part 2, and I'm very interested, very interested in that. My fault. Let me just see this real quick. Okay. So very interested. Wow. First video, this is a 52-minute long video. I'm so sorry, but this is great, Darius. You coming out, very commendable. You know, like I said, the thing is, it wasn't. He's coming out and finally saying it, but I don't think it was like on some the secret, the cat's out of the bag, like, because Darius just lived his life, you know, and he just lived his life. He didn't tell people, hey, I need you to know I'm gay, he didn't let people know that. He just lived his life, you know what I mean? And that's how everybody should move forward, just live their life. Like I said, he did tell me, and he was telling me, and I believe he like officially told me during the story that when he told me how my parents took it. But this is good, Darius. Love the video, great video. This is a very interesting video. It definitely had me tuned in. And I can't wait to hear part 2. My thoughts and opinions on Darius being gay, there's none. You know what I mean? That's his life, you guys. You know what I mean? That's his life. And honestly, it could have been different if it was like, what, if I was born in the 1970s, he was born in the 1980s, you know what I mean? But I believe in this generation, being gay is just like, oh, you're gay. Okay, let's move on with life. You know what I mean? But once again, I don't know, because like I said, Darius he experienced a different life. So, and I know being gay definitely still is tough. I'm not going to downplay being gay, but being gay is 100% still tough for people who are gay, especially if you're black and gay. But yeah, it's for me and how I grew up and my core and values and stuff of that sort. I don't judge it. It's just like, oh, you're gay. You know what I mean? Don't have a problem with that. I can be friends, not saying what Coke, I was there to my brother, but just if I were to meet a gay person, you know, I can be friends with a gay person. I have nothing against it. I'm not homophobic, really, to be the exact words to it. So Darius being gay, my thoughts and opinions is, you know, I'm glad he was able to share with the world. And like I said, he always shared it. He just didn't publicize saying I am gay. So this is great, Darius. I loved it. Great video, truly amazing video. I truly did love it, and I can't wait to see part 2. Let me know, you guys, if you guys would like me to react to part 2, the science of it, because I definitely know I'm going to have opinions on it. But you know, I can keep it to myself, or I can react it with you guys. And let me know what you guys think of these reaction videos. I actually enjoy doing this reaction video. I'm so sorry it's long, an hour long. I got to work on it, and then also I'm over here saying the times and stuff. This is my first reaction video. I gotta learn how to do these things. But ZCC family, I'm not gonna take up more of your time. I hope you guys are all having a beautiful day. I gotta edit this and drop this. Listen, my birthday's on Sunday. Spam me up with happy birthday. And I'm dropping a video on my birthday, and just all I ask for a birthday present, get that video to 8,000 likes. But as we all know, the grind never stops until the ZCC gang is on top. Darius, I'm proud of you. I love you. And we out.
you.